there was a day when painting was new. And the people that became good at it were the ones that were painting. It's amazing to me how many people have opinions about Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or making videos or doing this kind of podcast and getting people to listen to it. A whole lot of people with opinions who've never done it. And so I believe the great way to be great at anything is to be a practitioner. It's kind of, people ask me all the time, I make the analogy, you can read about push-ups, but if you want the results that push-ups give you, you have to do the push-ups. And I just think a lot of people with business, entrepreneurship, and specifically being a social media content creator or a modern media digital creator, read a lot, talk a lot, pontificate a lot, and don't do a lot. The way I figured out how to have my podcast, the way I figured out my YouTube show, the way I figured out everything I do is by doing. And you're gonna get some bumps and you're gonna make some mistakes. I think most people don't do because they're worried about what other people think.
And who are they? What kind of generation are we talking about?
Everybody. I think everybody. I don't think this is as generational as people think. I think this is more psychology than it is, none of the four people sitting in this room, right? Well, Babin's young, but the three of you, you're pretty, how old are you? It's not about how old you, I'm 42 and I feel more curious and more understanding of the culture and the game than plenty of people that are 18. I think it's a mindset. And so it's a very interesting time to be alive. There's so much opportunity and I'm excited to be a part of it. If I was the son of me, instead of me, I would have probably went to a top 5 university and been a big time psychiatrist or psychologist, like 100%, because I was born an immigrant in a different environment and probably had a little bit too much, competitive entrepreneurial DNA. But yeah, I think it's interesting as my life evolves that some of my natural skills are becoming more clear, and it's less about being a salesman or being good at digital marketing. I'm very comfortable giving advice because I think I'm undereducated and I keep things very simple. Like, human behavior comes very natural to me, which is why I've been very good at predicting what people are gonna do next. It's also the same skill that allows me to know that most of people's issues come from their parents or the environment they were born in. Most things are very simple. We don't wanna look them in the face. Facebook's not changing us. Facebook's not making us bad people. Facebook's exposing that we were bad to begin with. These are funny things to me. They're historical. I'm a big fan of history. It was the one class I was actually decent at, and I think that's another thing that's worked well for me. This is just rinse and repeat. What's happening right now on Facebook and Twitter is the same reason that governments, when they want to be dictatorships, control the media, because the media controls the mindset. And so, I think my skill is human behavior, and I think my vice or my intrigue on another part of my life is building businesses, and I think that's what made, I bought Bitcoin in 2014, not because I guessed, not because of anything else, but because I could see what was gonna happen in 17 and 18, and yeah, I think, I make the joke earlier about special, but I do feel special, and I don't say that with ego. I say that as a compliment to my parents and to my circumstance and to America and to the Soviet Union for that matter. The circumstances of who I became are far more of the factor than me, but I do see around corners, and not because I'm Nostradamus, but because I deeply am consumer-centric. I watch what people wear. When haircuts change, I'm fascinated by that. When fashion, I would have been great in fashion. I'm fascinated by what you just did to what I just said and how that plays out in my entire life. When I go to Cannes for the marketing festival, and I go on stage and I talk about stuff nobody agrees with me in the industry, but then at 2 o'clock in the morning, they'll say to me after a couple of cocktails, "You're right." When parents hear my stuff and they're smart, they don't like a lot of what I say, but they'll tell me, "You're right. You just did it." What I'm trying to figure out is what makes one do something that they know isn't right when they know it's right. What is creating that behavior? What I think is happening is they're worried about what other people think. I have a lot of empathy for a 49-year-old woman raising 2 teenagers in a neighborhood where she has a lot of friends, where she believes in something, but she doesn't do it because she doesn't want the scrutiny from the other moms. I can't inspire them the way that I was inspired. Really, outside of health, the only thing I wish for people is them to love what they do as much as I do.